When wind and pressure are combined, they create a weather system capable of catastrophic destruction. Earlier, we saw brutal 185-mile-per-hour winds pummeling the islands of Fiji, with a fierce Cat 5 storm named Cyclone Winston.
Really kicking our ass.
Despite the grave danger, diving instructor Chad Sinden is outside in the cyclone's eye wall, and he soon finds himself on the direct firing line of an 8-foot-long tree branch.
I remember a moment of blackness. The tree branch actually split the hard hat, cracked it, and also split my forehead open. I could feel the blood trickling down my brow. I realised that I had been ridiculously naive at running around in a storm in the first place. Realised that I'd been completely irresponsible as far as my family at home was concerned. There was definitely a doubt whether I'd survive, whether I'd see another day. And it's really quite a sombering thought. You realise how much you want to live in these situations.
Husband and wife, Mike and Samantha, prepare for the worst as Cyclone Winston fully engulfs their home.
We had a very intimate moment where we said our goodbyes and, said I love you and, this is it. And however it happens, it's been good. It's been a good life together.
But suddenly, their luck changes. With the arrival of the calm eye of Winston.
Suddenly, the wind just stopped, and it was sunny. And so we stepped outside, and this was the eye of the cyclone.
The calm eye is also a brief respite for George and Maddie and their fellow volunteers. But with a deadly storm surge and second eye wall almost upon them, they have to act fast.
It was in the eye of the storm, in the calmest moment, that we made the decision to leave the house and get to higher ground.
So we all decided to go to the church because that was like the main building in the village. That was probably going to be the most sturdiest. We could see what had happened outside, what all those noises meant. The first time I saw how much had been destroyed in such a short space of time, it just broke me.
Winston's winds unleashed lethal waves up to 40 feet high, threatening to crash into coastal villages and destroy everything in its path.
It was just a case of run from the waves. We were looking over our shoulder and just charging away from them, because as soon as those waves take you, you're gone.
We need a chopper, mate. We need a helicopter. This is ridiculous.
We all congregated outside the church, and it was just a mass panic. Where do we go? What do we do?
And that's when I remember turning towards the sea and seeing these huge waves. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And I genuinely remember thinking in that moment that this isn't, like, we're not going to get out of this alive, surely.
Up here, let's go.
Everyone just kind of shouted, like, right, just run, and just run for higher ground. And luckily behind the village was like a huge hill.
Okay, watch it. You're up, you're under, you good? Down, you good. Watch it, Maddie. There, you good.
Either you deal with what's in front of you, or you collapse under the weight of all the pressure.
You're going to be absolutely fine, Matt, honestly. You're going to be fine.
George was very calm. He kind of took my hand and was like, okay, Mads, you can do this, come on. I just froze, I just completely panicked. I couldn't think straight.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
They finally find sanctuary in a house on higher ground. But the danger is far from over, as now they must wait out the second eye wall.
We took shelter in the house overnight. There were about 70 to 80 of us hunched up. The storm continued to intensify, and the sounds and objects flying past the window were just the same as they were before. But it wasn't until I woke up the next morning that I went out the door. Literally, it's no longer anything recognisable. And I just saw complete destruction and silence, eeriness. There wasn't a bird in the sky, there was nothing. It was just complete paradox from the night before.
Destruction to the once lush green islands of Fiji is widespread and devastating.
It looked like a nuclear bomb or something like that. It went from a lush green island to just desert.
I remember walking outside the next day, head on my hands, staring at disbelief, bewilderment at all the chaos of the trees. Once was an idyllic Fijian resort, just smashed to pieces. It was like a naked hill, and I remember feeling an immense sense of sadness.
And the effects aren't just felt on land. They are also disastrous for marine life.
Fiji is famous for its soft corals. It's the soft coral capital of the world, and I was very keen to see what happened to our local reefs. There was a small path under the direct storm which was absolutely destroyed. For me, that was very emotional, seeing this marine life completely eradicated. It was gone. It was just a sheer, bald rock.
Volunteers George and Maddie returned to the island of Koru 1 year later.
Thankfully, we had the opportunity to go back and help rebuild. And honestly, that was one of the best feelings ever.
It was closure. Being able to go back and actually contribute to helping them to rebuild the village was such a nice feeling.
All the problems we have in modern day life are entirely constructed and don't really matter. Now, I don't really get worried when I'm stuck in traffic or things don't go my way, because in the bigger picture, does it really matter? Not really.
Cyclone Winston is the biggest storm ever to make landfall in the southern hemisphere. 44 people lost their lives. Entire villages were destroyed. And Winston caused $2.5 billion worth of damage.
I did not expect to have a Cat 5 come through. I did not expect to get hit by a tree. I didn't expect to have this new lease of life that I've had since then. I think on a different day, in different circumstances, if I'd been hit by a tree branch that size without a hard hat, I think my days would have been numbered for sure.
We did not expect to go out to this island in the middle of the Pacific and face death. Nature is not something to mess with. You have to take nature seriously.
You just realise in those moments that you're completely out of control, and if Mother Nature wants to take you away, you have absolutely no power over that.